everybody, Josh your RV nerd with Bish's RV here with the newest big Fuzion that they have, the new Fuzion 425, and it has everything, including the kitchen sink, including standard triple air conditioner, and you can run all three at the same time, onboard generator, all sorts of various factory solar options that also got better this year, rear patio, side patio, hot cold weather package, and even this cool kind of removable floating island. It's there when you want it, and it's gone when you don't, unlike me. I just kind of hang around like a fungus, whether you want me or not. But never mind my wife's life. It's a bath and a half, it's a loft. They went with the loft in the garage instead of off the living area, which is kind of my personal preference. And this one actually has really nice entertainment and a shockingly good kitchen. A lot of fifth wheel toy haulers have some very sparse living and kitchen spaces because often so much of the floor plan is eaten up by the garage. They didn't do that here, but as a result, this thing is big. It has a 20,000 pound GVW. We are either in Ford freaking Ranger territory or more suggestible, a dually. Your minimum dually country over here. Single rear wheel, I don't think needs to apply. You've still got over a 3,000 pound cargo carry capacity, so if you want to load some big heavy stuff, you want to load it heavy and spend a long time in it, she's capable of doing that. They've revamped their front pass-through compartment as well, and it kind of opens to the front area now. And it creates some big open cargo space separate from just the garage that a lot of these big Fuzions just always kind of lacked in the past. Multiple power awnings, all kinds of big fun features on this one, including their front closet is a little bit different from what you typically find out there. It's been a while since I got my hand on some of these big Fuzions. It feels like we're kind of getting the band back together, and I would love to hear what you think about this one as we go. That you think they nailed it, where they failed it. Like, leave me some comments, let me know. And sometimes when I'm in a big new model like this, I really don't know where to begin because I haven't had a long enough time to really digest it. A lot of my work I'm kind of doing on the fly. I don't know if it appears that way or not, but that is kind of, I guess my process is I have no process, but kind of showing you from the theater seat, from the main seating position, this is kind of what you're going to see. And I think by kind of putting you in the driver's seat, it sort of helps you get a better idea of the layout. Like I could start at the door and look around and you'll get it, but this is what you're going to see right here. I got your Space Eatin' Tootsie Toaster down there, and at a glance I looked at it, I'm like, does that swing open? Is there storage behind it? And I was sort of bummed that there wasn't. And then I remembered behind all this stuff, there's a really solid, respectable, like outside camp kitchen sort of entertainment center. Now they use a multi-zone kind of entertainment soundbar head sort of, well, not soundbar because they're speakers, you get the idea, but entertainment system. So if you want kind of, a couple different things sort of going on in different zones in the RV, you can do that. Now when you have a side patio, it has to kind of be built into the body of this a little bit. Now, with this being a 100-inch wide body, they have a little extra room, but it does create extra, just tiny little chunks of space and storage up there, and I like that they didn't waste it. And I also really like how they mounted the garage, or the loft, rather, in the garage. Not kind of like with this little peekaboo, I see you Nerf battle loft up there. I've never personally been too much of a fan of having the loft open into the living area. It's just that jelly ain't my jam. I don't know how else to say it. Now, I'm eyeballing it, but I do believe that's like a 20 cubic foot, 12 volt fridge and freezer. That is huge. And they build that slide box as tall as they possibly can to really maximize the full space and effect, especially with the big windows here. Also helping with that, this RV has a rolling, floating, removable island dining, whatever you want to do with it. You could take it out in the garage, use it like a bar. I mean, it can do a lot of different things. And what's kind of cool is where it mounts and where it slots here into the slide out, you can still flip up that counter extension. So if you are, standing over here doing some kind of, cooking work, first of all, some handy household outlets back there, but you can still have a handy chunk of counter space right next to you. That is useful. That is also a convection microwave, but we're going to come back and get all this stuff open and look at this all in greater detail in a few minutes. Up top here, you got one of those rain sensing XL vent fans. And as long as we're looking up at the ceiling, this RV has triple 15,000 BTU air conditioning. It has 45,000 BTUs of cooling power, all of which can run at the same time off a 50 amp circuit. And not like with some power juggling system. For the longest time in the RV industry, a triple air conditioner RV, only 2 of the years actually ran at one time. One of them, only the fan was running. This one, all 3 compressors can simultaneously be active. What I like about the big full Fusions, though, is your living room air and your bedroom bathroom air, that is a centrally ducted air conditioning system. When we float back here to the garage, let me get you up here, sorry. This is a totally standalone air conditioner. And the reason I think that's kind of cool is that means that you don't have any central air vents that are potentially allowing exhaust from a combustion engine when you're loading something into the garage to bleed into the body of the RV. That's not kind of a thing that you have here. Now, obviously, you've got this wicked sweet side patio. This is kind of like, in a way, a big brother to the 424 Fusion, which is one that I always kind of had a sweet spot for. The 424 Fusion literally used the side patio as the front entry door. This one does not. You still have a normal traditional living room entry door, and you have a garage door, and you have the patio that you can come and go in free flow if you want to, with its own kind of entertainment sort of system going on down here. And tell you what I'd do? I would have me a beer cooler right there under that entertainment center. Yes, sir. But this could have a little bit of front porch action going on here. You want to bring the little bar outside and serve the neighbors drinks? Well, you could be the everybody's favorite person at the campground, unless it's a dry county, in which case you'd probably really be everybody's favorite person at the campground. And if you're a person who doesn't drink or find humor in that, it's just a joke. No offense necessarily intended there. The look of these, a couple years ago, the cabinets became like almost this, it looked like primer, and it never like sat right with me. I was never really on board with that. And you can see that they really kind of cleaned and modernized that up. But backing up here, kind of, looking through the garage space, like a lot of big fifth wheel toy haulers, we have this Happy Jack power bed lift system. You got the sofas that can roll over into beds. You got the armrest kind of function right there. A little bit of whatever you need. But, for dining purposes, the RV does include the sort of floating picnic table, which I managed to position myself directly next to this. This is probably some of the worst work I think I've done recently, and that's saying something. I'm the one that left it here. I forgot it was here, and I literally just ran into this thing butt first. And let me tell you, that's an experience. So, yeah. Portable table. You get the idea. Now, the gate can swing shut right there, so if you want to make sure you got a little pooch or a toddler or something, doesn't go, tumbling down the stairs, well, obviously you can prevent that from happening. Now, their whole garage floor system is heavy duty. Basically, it's crisscross applesauce steel cross members all around this thing, and what they're doing here with these tie downs, there's 9 of these in this garage. The sofas are just over 2. Each of them have 5 hook mounting positions, so you don't have to, if you have 2 motorcycles, you don't have to, sit there and try to fight who gets which hookup and which one of the motorcycles actually is really secure and which one you think is just okay. You may have noticed the 3 Seasons kind of, full-on patio wall right there. Obviously, both you got the Happy Jack bed and the bottom sofas can fold into sleepers, although you can obviously get those out of the way. And non-toy hauler manufacturers, these couples campers that keep putting the TV all the way up by the ceiling, they need to take note of what toy haulers have been doing for years. It's the exact same swing sideways TV mount that everybody and their brother's been using. It's just mounted vertically, and it works. That's what a lot of couples models need to start doing. Now, it's not going to be like anything amazing, and you can still kind of see it, but just to give you a little more of a up-close and personal view of the loft there is a telescopic removable ladder included with the RV that can help you get up and down there. So it's not like you don't gotta be the American Ninja Warrior to get yourself in that thing. You're gonna see a bunch of outlets in this RV, by the way, have these yellow stickers telling you that they are prepped and ready to be inverter powered. Today we're actually looking at one of the Fusions that has more than the basic solar package that actually does include a factory inverter, but all of these will have some level of inverter prep and standard onboard generator. Now, it's a half bath, so I wasn't expecting much, and that's basically what I got. Not a lot in the way of elbow room, but it does what it needs to do. This room doesn't need to be any more than it is, and I don't necessarily want it taking away from my living space. You do have a dedicated sink, you do have a dedicated medicine cabinet, and one thing I was curious about, and I was very happy to see the result, first of all, this is the point of view that my phone has when I'm sitting on the toilet, and then you get to see that it does have that big XL vent fan up there in the bathroom, so even the half bath in the back has a good airflow. Wow. Apparently the A-Team chopper's paying us a visit today. Now I've got the A-Team song stuck in my head. Da, 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 da. Anyway, moving on. The kitchen does not suck. I'm very happy overall with the kitchen, but at a glance, it looks rather minimal. You're like, yeah, no, hold on, a kitchen. Where's the, where's the counter space? Well, remember, once again, what this one has is that, like, floating island. So giving you a look at that thing, the wheels can lock in place so you don't spin it around when you don't mean to necessarily. But that sucker, man, it creates some good area. Now, the one thing I did notice, and I think it's pretty obvious from this footage right here, the wing-up leafs on that countertop extension, they were not exactly flat. And I'm hoping that is just because this is a first-run prototype. That's definitely something they have to get that right. If that's not right, that rolling island is nearly useless. As well, it certainly doesn't serve the purpose it otherwise potentially could. So hopefully that's something that gets right. And that might be a little pro tip, shopping tip for you here from your Uncle Josh. If you're looking at one of these, pull that island out and, make sure it does what it's supposed to do when the thing flips up. Here's another piece of this is just being as transparent and candid as I possibly can. I had concerns when I first saw the system. Like, I like the concept that it slots in the slide, but this is not exactly a floor flush slide and it has wood trim. And it's like, wait a minute. Are the, unless you're ultra careful, basically the wheels, the casters, are going to dig into that woodwork a little bit. And actually, just being real, this RV's been on display for 2 or 3 days, and you can already see a couple little scuff marks there. So hopefully, maybe Keystone puts like a little piece of like metallic trim or something like that right there just to help keep it in better shape. I don't know. But, spending this kind of money and then having, gouges just dug into your island over time while your kitchen fascia, I don't know. It just seems kind of crappy. So that's a bit of feedback that I've left them. I'd love to hear your opinion on that, regardless. The toilet looks weird facing this direction, but it works. When you slide that shower door out of the way, the hip, elbow, shoulder room in this is fantastic. It works very, very well, in fact. Now, it's a thin linen cabinet, so you're going to probably want to roll towels up and stack them in there, and doing that, I'm not a fan of open face storage, but they're not going to go anywhere. No, why? Why? Sorry, I saw something just now, and just respectfully, this is my personal 2 cents. When we have the XL vent fan in the kitchen, we have the XL vent fan in the half bathroom. Why do we still, in this luxury hauler, have a 4-inch fart fan in the main bathroom? Again, respectfully, just one guy's opinion. I feel that's a miss, and maybe that's something that they look at later on. But right now, that does appear that's what we get. And I'm half cheeking it on the mirror over here. So, sorry for yelling, especially headphones and AirPod users or whatever. Sorry, but okay, all I'm gonna do is get myself wound up. Doesn't matter. Shower headroom. So it does have a corner shower seat. It's a 1-piece fixed molded shower, and it had just enough headroom up there for me to stand in it. I'm a little bit over 6 foot tall. Wearing these shoes, I would probably measure out to about 6'2". Without the shoes, I'm a little bit closer to 6'1". With winter boots and hat, closer to 6'3". So maybe if you're watching my videos over time, that'll give you an idea. They have some serious bedroom floor space in here. You could throw out a yoga mat and do a couple of your favorite poses, I do suppose. The king bed up here in a slide. A lot of fifth wheel toy haulers still have a north-south bed with like a closet slide just because they're so darn big. That's the thing with this Fusion. It said, no, we are not worried about being small. We want to have all of the things. We want to be as big as possible. Under the bed, easy lift storage, which is a great place to keep that table that we looked at. And there's that telescopic ladder that we were talking about. Now, you do have space for, it's interesting, it actually is, I believe, set up for side-by-side washer-dryer space in that front closet. And what's cool about that is that allows you to maintain some hanging storage above it and still have like a little shelf. You could almost use that like a little laundry clothes folding sort of space, And remember, the living room and the bedroom Each share centralized ducting, dual 15,000 BTU air conditioners here, plus a totally separate independent 15,000 BTU air conditioner specifically for the garage. And overall, even though it's going to require what I call two-stage travel access, the road mode function on the... Oh, wow, hey, you can do a sideways camping two-step and slide your way up to that front closet without climbing over the bed. That's cool. You don't usually see a lot of that out there. But what I'm getting at is from your main entry door, the front of all of the doors, and you can almost say this RV has 4 of them, including the patios. You can get to the front bedroom, you can get to the bathroom. But that slide, unless you're going to yeet yourself over the countertop, you're not going to get through there. But that's where having these multiple entry doors comes in handy. Now, chances are in road mode, you're not going to have the side patio down, but let's say you sneak in through the garage. And with this one having that rolling island, that means that you actually can slip up in here. You can get to enough of the kitchen to make yourself a little travel snack and, keep yourself fueled up when you visit the fuel station. When we began, I jokingly referred to towing this with a Ford freaking Ranger. That's an internet joke when you know kind of thing. Without question, buddy, we are dually country. We are dually country all day, every day on this big bad mamma jamma right here. And notice they've changed up their nose cap. It's not quite as sharp and angular as it was in the past. But the color fade and everything, it's working for me. It's looking good. It's looking a little more grown up and refined, you know? It's kind of like when your friend who's rough around the edges suddenly gets their act together and you're like, huh, Greg's kind of a cool guy now, you know? I don't know, maybe it's apologies if your name's Greg. Any similarities are completely coincidental. Tankless on-demand water heater, enclosed docking center, and previously these big Fusions, like you'd look at that front pass-through and it really felt borderline rinky-dink. Well, you're not gonna have that feeling quite so much anymore because they've opened the side-to-side pass-through also up to the front. And that has created a very significant amount of like flat horizontal available cargo space. Now looking up here, this is all of our various system stuff. Normally you'd find a little smaller charge controller there, but this one has their 440 solar package instead of the base 220. And up top here, that comes with that 2,000 watt inverter. There's also multiple disconnects. There's like a whole house disconnect, and then there's just a general solar disconnect. Like if the RV's in storage or something like that, and the solar panel is kind of exposed to the sun, but the batteries are disconnected, you could kind of cook the charge controller. Well, being able to disconnect the solar panel so it can't talk to the charge controller fixes that. It's just little smart details. Actually, this might be the bigger solar package yet because this actually has lithium on board, which the standard series does not. Apologies. There's a variety of solar packages. We can get you all those details. There's also dual big power awnings on this one, plus rear power awning over the rear deck kind of area. And behind the entertainment center and behind the fireplace, what would sort of feel like wasted space, it is actually a surprisingly nice camp kitchen, and they're doing this cool thing here where because these RVs sit so high off the ground, plus this is mounted in a slide out, which is higher off the ground still, the griddle actually swings out and drops down. So it's, you're not reaching up so far, so you're not cooking your eyebrows. Now we are right next to this Raptor next to us here, so pardon me as I do a David Blaine teleport and magically ski-daddle over to the other side. Now, a side patio like this, it's not necessarily the most friendly thing for a lot of park camping. That's another thing to consider. This RV's greatest asset, its monstrously large size, is also one of its greatest liabilities due to the fact that it does limit where you can take this one, because some RV places don't have the sites big enough, or like the roadways, the winding long roadways large enough to accommodate a rig of this size. If you're gonna get something this big, you really need to plan accordingly. Now, the steps that go into the garage are not the fold down stable steps because that's where you're gonna load stuff. You don't wanna bash some steps in the side of your side-by-side. And they're still doing this little skirt mounted, I don't know, toolbox or whatever you wanna call it. I like this up here. And there are some power outlets at the top of that. So if you want to turn this into like a power toolbox, or if you want to mount like an air compressor or something in there, air compressor that is one of those features that, like, I know like Valor and a couple brands do. I really like when toy haulers do like some kind of onboard air compressor. It makes a lot of sense to me. Now, their ramp patio on the back here, maybe you're a little more familiar with this now. It used to be just like they were the first ones to do this, where it has these drop down legs and it is like self-supporting so that you don't have to physically lift the weight. So putting that up and down is far, far easier. And since it's so long, the steps go off the side. Because if it went off the back, it'd be even longer of a parking space. That's a little bit of a thing, you know. And notice how there is that single support leg drop down. Now, there's support legs for both sides. I dropped the support leg on one side. I left the cable hooked up on the other, because there's two cables, there's two support legs, just to kind of show you that you can sort of use this one a number of different ways. The cool thing about those drop legs, normal toy hauler ramp patio doors typically have a 3,000 pound loading limit, but a 1,500 pound patio limit. By re-supporting the end of the patio like that, you regain the full 3,000 pound rating. That's kind of a big deal. And you may have noticed, of course, the 3 Seasons kind of, you know, folding patio wall that you have over there. And again, you don't necessarily have to drop those legs. If it's only 1 or 2 of you, maybe you just don't even worry about it. If you don't care about the side entry steps, just leave the cables hooked up. Or you can go whole hog on the thing, whatever you feel like doing. I've got that telescopic ladder slid off to the side there, well, extended so we can get up and down it. And these do have dual 30-pound, they're 30-gallon rather, fuel tanks. So it's they're 2 separate tanks, so that if you want to run high-octane fuel for your I don't know, side-by-side or whatever, and you want to run normal fuel for your generator, you can. And if you don't care about the side-by-side fuel, fill them both with the same kind of gas, and then you can actually use the fuel dispensing station to add 30 more gallons cross-pump over into your generator fuel cell. All Goodyear Endurance, those look like almost the bigger Beast radials, and the MORryde shock dampening suspension package with the nice, grease zerk brass fittings and all that good stuff here. Some really good running gear on this. And remember, again, you've got a little bit over a 3,000 pound cargo rating on one of these, which it almost feels like that's the minimum you should have with something this size, but it does, I think, still feel sufficient. What's your take on that? I was blessed with a beautiful day. Yesterday I was recording a bunch of the fifth wheels over there, and every time I'd step outside it would rain, and every time I'd step inside it would quit. And I earned my keep that day. That was just a brutal, not fun day here. Now, everything up on the roof is all polar white. Again, very excellent hot-cold weather package, including a lot of radiant barrier work. Like, today is nice and warm, whereas yesterday was crap. And it feels like 10 degrees cooler inside this RV. None of these airs are running. We're just off like 15 amp kind of household plug power. Now, we're looking at one of the upgraded solar packages today, which grants us an additional plug there if you want to really beef up and expand on that. This one looks to be the 440 package. The base here would be a 220. But now you can go 440, you can even go beyond that. And again, with this 440 package, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, is like the best buy in my book. Because by default, that's a respectable, not wow, over the top solar package, but respectable. We got the inverter function going along with it. But with this 440 package and that extra plug, you add an extra set of controllers and whatnot, you can basically rebuild the big giant super solar package that Keystone offers. Now, it would require even swapping these panels out, but it is probably the most scalable and flexible of all their solar packages. And pound for pound, dollar for dollar, what you get for your money, that's the package that I would really like on something. Even though I don't tend to boondock a lot, it feels robust enough. I could do a lot of things with it, especially like if you're going to do a couple hopscotch, driveway or like Walmart kind of stealth mode parking trips along the way. Whew. I have no idea how long this video is going to end up being, but probably triple, quadruple that. These big haulers, it's like playing soccer. And I don't know if you notice my body type. I don't exactly do a lot of run and play a lot of soccer. This is a cardio workout for old Uncle Josh right here. What I'm going to do, though, is leave you a link in the video description where you can check for pricing and availability wherever we happen to have one in stock at any of our stores. And if we are sold out, call our team. We can get you some quotes, no big deal. Our website just only shows you what we have in hand. We don't do bait and switch kind of tactics like display a lot. Like we're not going to have a display of an RV on our website that isn't actually there. You know what I mean? Anyway, until next time. Take care, stay safe, have fun. I'm gonna go get a drink, everyone. More of the soft drink variety if HR is watching.